Good afternoon and welcome to a Richard and Paul midweek special. Yes, we're here to give you our review on ABBA Voyage. Ooh, and if you're new to our channel, because you're interested in ABBA, we are ABBA fans. And we have talked about ABBA before, haven't we, Paul?
We have. Yeah.
And we do a regular show called Sunday Chat.
Sunday Chat!
Filmed in this style. Except this is an ABBA Voyage chat. Isn't it, Paul?
Why is it not ABBA Voyage?
Because the word is voyage.
I think ABBA
Voyage is French, Paul.
I know. I like that.
Ridiculous.
ABBA Voyage.
Yeah, said like that. It sounds a bit weird, Paul. So,
we've seen ABBA somewhere else, haven't we? When we were in the car a couple of months ago.
Sorry?
We saw it on the back of a truck.
Oh, there is a truck company called ABBA Trucks or Abbavoyage, isn't there? I know,
Yeah.
Bizarre. It is rather sultry this afternoon, I've noticed. Don't you
Right,
find?
if you say so, yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling rather hot and sultry.
Are you having a hot flush after your coffee?
Maybe, but let's get on with the show. So welcome, bloody welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for subscribing to our little channel. It's a cult channel, isn't it, Paul?
Complete culture.
I'm a cult and you're a cult.
Absolutely.
We're all cults.
Yeah.
Let's get on with the show. The first thing to really say is thank you. Really. And I've
for the
noticed...
music.
Yeah,
And
because...
for the songs you're singing.
And all the joy that they're bringing.
Yeah.
Who can live without it? I ask, in all honesty.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I've watched a few reviews of ABBA Voyage. ABBA Voyage. Sounded a bit northern, that, didn't it?
Yeah.
ABBA Voyage. And I've seen a few reviews, and I've watched a few bits and pieces, and not one time, not one person has actually considered saying thank you, A, to ABBA for providing the music in the first place, and to the producers of the show, the technicians, the engineers, and above all,
The cleaners.
the staff.
The staff.
At
yeah.
the arena, you know, because they were all incredibly polite,
Yeah.
very helpful, did their jobs with a smile, which I noticed, you know, visibly. So clearly very well trained staff.
And also, I think none of them were born at the time that ABBA was around.
No, absolutely.
Because like most of the hospitality industry, they're all very young.
Yeah, but, you know, did their job excellently. So thank you to the whole crew of ABBA Voyage and the ABBA Arena for providing such a great experience. Thank you,
And also
seriously.
thank you to most of the audience for not getting their phones out.
Yeah, we're getting on to that later.
Oh, right.
Paul,
But
don't
thank
jump the
you.
gun.
Thank you.
Yeah, apart from the ones that we told off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we're going to try not to fill this with too many spoilers because, as Paul just said, the request of the producers is that people don't film clips. And I've noticed quite a few clips on YouTube, which I'm surprised haven't been taken down yet. The only real clip that you need to watch is the official trailers that have been produced, because that gives you a sort of slight idea of what happens at ABBA Voyage, but doesn't spoil it. Nothing really prepares you for the experience.
No, it doesn't.
And I think also it's good to acknowledge that we do feel extremely privileged to be able to have afforded to buy the tickets to go in the first place. So we do acknowledge that, you know...
Though I think tickets are available from about £25 or something. I'm not quite sure where, but if you can get them, yeah, do.
Well, yeah, let's move through the order of the show.
Well, I don't know what the
Thank
order of the
you.
show is.
So we're not going to provide too many spoilers. We might talk about a couple of highlights. And also we won't be showing any clips because we didn't take any clips. I took one photograph of the arena before the show started, which I'll just show you. And as you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful arena. But what you see in that photo doesn't really give you much of an idea of what's going to happen at all.
Which, of course, it didn't at the beginning of Kate Bush either, did it?
No, it didn't, absolutely. And there are sort of similarities with the show Before the Dawn and ABBA Voyage in some ways.
I think quite a few of the people, the creatives behind it, must have been to see Kate.
Well, I think you could describe ABBA Voyage as a theatrical production. Because I think one of the producers, I think, is a theatre producer.
The director.
One of the guys.
Girls, I think.
No, there's a guy that I've seen interviewed. I can't remember his name. I do apologise. But I think he's a theatre producer. So let's ask the question. La question, c'est voulez-vous? What is ABBA Voyage? What is it? Well, it's a show with ABBA music in its own custom arena. And I say that because I've seen these comments. Oh, is it on in the West End? Will it be going to Birmingham? No, it won't be. It won't be going to the West End. It won't be going to Birmingham.
Well, it might go to Birmingham.
Unless the whole thing is dismantled and rebuilt.
Which it can be.
Which it can be.
Replicated.
Yeah, or replicated. This is a custom-built arena for the ABBA show only.
And it's quite small. It's only 3,500 seats, something like
3,000.
3,000 seats. And I think that's a really good size for what this is.
Yeah.
Because it really does,
It kind of feels,
right.
It feels sort of intimate in a way, even though it is quite expansive in size. I mean, it's a large stage.
Yeah, it's enormous.
So it's I would say it's an experience. It's an experience, ABBA Voyage, rather than a concert. So it's a custom-built arena. When you arrive, we travelled to Pudding Mill Lane, which is the DLR station.
Directly next door.
Yeah, literally next door, literally over the road. When you arrive, it's quite an impressive building. We were meeting up with my sisters and my niece and her friend, and we met them outside the arena and went in. So when you go in, you're greeted by very pleasant staff.
Well, what about outside? What it
about
looks
outside?
like?
Well, people can see that online. It's quite easy to Google.
I know, but they may not have Googled it. I think it's a rather impressive building.
It is, but Google it.
Yeah, and it must have taken a while to build.
Well, it's 6 years in the making, isn't it?
Well, the whole project is 6 years in the making. The building isn't. But I love it's obviously, it has the icon of ABBA on it. And I love the way that it was interwoven in the slats of all the wood and things.
Yeah, it's quite hard to describe.
Yeah, it is.
So Google it.
Yeah, but
Hello?
still,
Really?
you come down. So we were on the DLRs, he said, and then I went.
You get a good view, don't you?
He had his back to it, and I went, oh, there it is.
Ooh,
And you turned around, you went,
ooh,
ABBA.
ooh.
Like that, yeah, he did.
And so as you walk in, there's a large area with merchandise stalls, a cloakroom, food and drink offerings, and obviously it was packed full of people, and it was very noisy with people.
Yeah, it was quite noisy.
Their excitement at being there. So we immediately headed for merchandise because my sisters wanted to get a piece of merchandise. I wouldn't say that the merchandise is horrendously expensive, but it's certainly not cheap. Although there were smaller offerings like key rings and badges and things like that. And again, very pleasant staff, very nice to deal with. We had some food.
Yeah.
Because we arrived in good time to be able to do this. I think the arena opens about an hour and a half before the show starts, and we went for a matinee at 3:00.
Yeah.
So we went in there about 1:30ish, 1:45, had some food, bought some merch. I had a vegan hot dog,
I had
which was delicious, I have to say,
falafel and hummus salad, which was really nice.
and an ABBA water infused
Oh, you
with
did,
the
yeah.
essence of ABBA. in a lovely aluminium recyclable Abbavoyage bottle, which
Refillable.
is recyclable and refillable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think the important thing is refillable because that's what it says on the bottle.
Okay, let's go with what it says on the bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so warm.
Anyway, so we ate.
That was good. We ate, and then they announced that the arena
Wait a
was
minute. The
open.
important thing.
What? Toilet break?
Toilets.
Yeah, they've got toilets. God, they've got
Toilets. Nice and clean.
Did you go to the toilet?
I went to the toilet.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't go to the
Yeah.
toilet. I
just
deliberately
thought-
didn't drink much water.
No. But I went to relieve myself in the toilets,
Disgusting.
which were incredibly clean.
Yeah.
And didn't smell like toilets,
Good.
which is unusual when you go to sort of arena places. The whole ambience of the place is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does look a bit like a Swedish sauna.
Better
but-
than IKEA.
Yeah, well, IKEA, it's sort of like different, isn't it?
It's a furniture store.
It's a furniture store.
Anyway, let's
yeah.
move on. So, nice ambient lighting in this area, lovely coloured lights, lots of wood. But then they announced that the arena is open and you may take your seats. So we filed through this really sort of trippy little lit area with lovely neon lights. And you go into the arena, and of course you're impressed straight away with the beautiful lighting that's going on. Simple, down lighting as you saw in the photo. And again, this kind of doesn't give you any sense of what is going to happen in the show at all. You've got the screens on the stage which have these lovely trees. There's little snowflakes falling.
3 big screens.
And the odd light going through the trees as though somebody's walking around, which we noticed. And there's birdsong, an ambient sound.
Which I thought was very Kate Bush.
Yeah, it kind of was. And
But what about the seats?
the seats, we were sat in row K of Block H, which are apparently top price seats. Very central,
Yeah.
which I was very pleased about. There's a good rake
There's
on those seats.
Excellent rake.
Yep, which is good, which means you can see over the tops of other people's heads, especially if they stand up, which is good. There is a dance floor at the bottom in front of the stage where you can pay to stand up. We're far too old to do that. I don't think so. So we were very pleased with the central position, which enabled us to view the symmetry of the show, which is
yeah.
quite important to me
Yeah.
as a viewer.
Dance booths.
There are also dance booths as well, which you can hire for a certain number of people, which are sort of a little bit like VIP sections, but they're to
Well,
one
like-
side, aren't they?
But they're like boxes in a theatre,
Yeah.
aren't they? They're sort of, they're not wrapped
I'm not
right
sure
around the side.
I wouldn't want to be. I want to be where we are. In
Yeah,
the,
I
in the
would want to be there
auditorium.
again.
Yeah, if we saw it again, which I think we probably will do.
At some point, yeah.
So, lovely. Okay. So yeah, you've got these screens and you basically wait then for the show to start.
Yeah, they're waiting for us to give the review. Yeah.
We are giving
yeah.
the review.
Oh, right, okay, we can the review.
Don't get cheeky with me.
Right.
Really. And the show starts promptly at 3:00 in the afternoon. I think from October, the Sunday show is 1:00. I think they do, do a time change. Yeah, the usual times of the shows, I think matinee on a Saturday is 3:00, and then the evening show is 7:45, I believe. But you can have a look on the ABBA Voyage ticket website. And the show starts promptly. And
Wow.
yeah. When the show begins, the lights sort of go down, and we will reveal that the show starts with the song "The Visitors."
Mm.
And it starts with a very black and white scheme of lighting that is pulsating along the whole auditorium, and you suddenly realise that this show is not restricted to these screens. It is the whole auditorium. Without revealing too much, I mean, we can say, because it is shown on the trailer, that ABBA do appear from the stage. They come, they rise up through holes in the stage.
That was just fantastic. That was so clever.
And you do spend the first few minutes blinking and thinking, wow, this looks real.
Yeah, it does.
This, I cannot believe I'm actually watching a screen, but it's so real that they look three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
They move about on the stage forwards and backwards, side to side. They move through each other.
So there's lots of depth. Yeah.
There's an illusion of depth. There is an illusion of a shadow. You know, they all have shadows. They all are lit in this amazing way, and the side screens seem to become bigger than they look at the beginning.
Yeah.
Show the detail of them. The costumes, you are immediately struck by the detail on the costumes. They're wearing bejeweled cloaks and jumpsuits, the girls, and at one point Frida puts her arms out and she's sort of parading this cloak, isn't she? Which is just sparkling with jewels. And you marvel at the detail.
Yeah.
The incredible detail. And your sort of brain is sort of telling you that this is a screen that you're watching, but your brain is saying, no, these are real people. The illusion is superb.
Yeah.
Absolutely superb.
And then you get to the end of the first song, and what do? You clap.
You clap.
You
clap. You realise you're essentially clapping a very sophisticated movie.
Yeah. It's sort of like, I was literally clapping along, and then I was thinking, oh, they can't hear this applause. Oh, that doesn't really matter.
But it does matter.
It was just amazing.
It does matter because you do have a 10-piece band playing live on stage who seem to come and go.
Well, they do. He didn't notice. But the band is on the level of the stage.
To one side.
But the screens are so big, so when they're on the stage, they're sort of cutting into the bottom of the screen, which is great for, you know, many of the songs. But the band floor falls. Well, it doesn't fall. It hydraulically moves down.
I just didn't notice that.
So it sinks and it clears the screen completely. So the band are always there. You can always see them. But they're either sort of elevated up here or they're down as if they're in a pit of a normal theatre.
Amazing. And this is the thing about the show. If you, this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to be on the dance floor, because if you're dancing around to the song as though you're in a disco, you're going to miss a lot of detail.
Yes.
Because really, you are. If you're looking away for a few seconds and there's a transition to another song, you're going to miss that transition. And there are a couple of transitions which are absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, there's one, I think it was between Lay All Your Love on Me and Summer Night City, where they're wearing the sort of Tron outfits.
Yeah. That you see in the trailer.
And they are huge at this point because they're not always appearing as the avatars on stage. Suddenly they'll be blown up to huge proportions and they're performing their dance moves. And that transition, literally, they suddenly shrink back down to their stage presence size in the blink of an eye, and you are just completely wowed by it. So they play a set for 90 minutes,
Yeah.
which is interspersed with other things, which we kind of won't go into detail with,
No.
because that's for you to discover when you see the show.
But I think that's part of the joy of it. I think I've been to sort of normal concerts in the past, and I felt, 90 minutes, couldn't this be shorter? I mean, we've all done that with movies.
Yeah.
And I think if this was, years and years ago, I was involved in Elvis when it was done with Elvis footage and his live band, those that were still alive. And it was great, but it was, a bit long.
Yeah.
Where this, because there's different media in there, it really, really works.
I think the producers have recognised that for 90 minutes, watching the avatars do their thing,
it would be too much.
Would probably be too much. I mean, I actually thought that it was kind of quite long.
I didn't at all. I loved every moment.
And, well, there was a moment where I felt there was a slight lull, to be honest. When all is said and done, I felt was a little bit of a filler, and didn't think it gave great value, that particular song. To be honest, it's not all perfect. And, if we think about the detail on the faces, I did think there were a couple of uncanny valley moments.
Yeah, I think there will be, but I think that will be ironed out. I'm sure there will be more work done on it, and there'll be more rendering. Yeah,
Really?
I'm sure. I mean, the wonderful thing about this is, of course, once it's run for a year or however long it's going to run, they can switch songs around, can't they?
Well, I do believe they've done extra songs.
Right, there we are.
So they can change songs if need be and play with it. So the overall effect of this show is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The lighting is absolutely incredible.
The lighting is, the sound and the lighting is incredible.
And the whole overall effect is a whole experience. And of course, with the concert level sound, you feel it in your chest, you feel it in your body. So it's incredibly good. And I think the thing that really connects you is the emotion.
Yeah.
Because it kind of takes you back to the 70s, but without that 70s tacky costume look.
Yeah.
I
mean, there is a moment where we get the 70s tacky costume look, and actually it's rather endearing and heartwarming.
So the overall effect of the show is to completely and utterly wow you, and immerse you in this wonderland of light and sound and effects for 90 minutes. And it's just...
It's a spectacle.
It's a spectacle. It's kind of like a very sophisticated Disney ride. Now, you've never been on a Disney ride.
No.
So if you've never been to Disney, I've been to the one in France, but they create these little worlds where you go in and everything is about that ride. You get on the ride, you're bombarded with light and sound effects for the best part of 10-15 minutes, and you're sort of taken over by that. This is the same kind of feeling. You are completely immersed in this experience for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you're kind of wowed out by it for a few days. I had a calm down on Monday.
Did you?
I felt exhausted and I felt very flat. Because
it leaves you on a high.
It gives you a total uplift.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it kind of also asks you to just believe in this experience for the 90 minutes. You believe that ABBA are on stage, and you buy into it.
Totally.
And actually, it kind of... You think of any other shows that you've been to, maybe apart from Kate Bush, and you think, meh.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, for me, it's the second best thing I've ever seen on stage.
And I think what it's done, it has set the bar very high for other people. And the fact that it is in the custom-built arena means they, like we said, you know, they can play with it and they can refine it if need be. And possibly if they did it again somewhere else, they might make changes.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to learn from this too, but they've got it pretty much sorted.
I think so.
You know?
I mean, I hope they don't have too many seats if they do it somewhere else, because I think the intimacy of the arena is what it adds so much to the experience. To have it bigger, I think, would be an error.
Well, I think also, you know, you're never that far away from the stage. I mean, we were kind of quite far away, but because we were in a central position, you get the whole effect and the symmetry of the lighting, which does some incredible things. I mean, I said to my sister, you know, can you imagine the maintenance that needs to happen? I've noticed there isn't a show, there's a gap every week.
Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, there's no show on a Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
So they must have a really heavy maintenance schedule that they have to follow.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, and it will be sort of a heavy technical schedule.
Yeah,
as
because
well.
there must be a lot of moving parts.
Yeah,
involved.
absolutely. There's a lot of cables in lighting and things like that. So,
you know,
yeah.
and there is lighting everywhere. Alexa, please stop. There is lighting everywhere in that arena, apart from the seating areas. So, yeah, quite incredible, well worth a visit, well worth the money, because this is quality entertainment. Frankly, I'd rather go and see this than a West End show.
Oh, definitely.
Really.
Definitely.
You know, there is no West End show that, as far as I'm concerned, could compete with this show.
Well, I think there's my third favourite show of all time is Shakespeare for My Father.
Yeah, but that's
Lynn
for
Redgrave.
very different reasons.
Absolutely,
Paul.
but it feeds into that sort of emotion that was there.
That was a very tiny show, and the thing is, that's it, isn't it? You can have some very small, intimate shows that you connect with beautifully.
Yeah.
On such a wonderful level, but if you want eye-popping, jaw-dropping, technologically advanced wizardry, this is the show for you.
It is.
Abbavoyage.
Yeah.
What was your... Let's sort of round off, because we're not going to go into set list, and you can find all that online. And we're not going to go into number by number and what it looked like and how it sounded, blah, blah, blah. What was your highlight of the show?
Chiquitita.
Oh. And that was a very simple number.
Incredibly simple.
Wasn't it?
But just incredibly clever. Yeah.
I think for me it was the opening, the visitors, because that really, really set you up. Without going too over the top, it set you up for what was going to potentially happen. I absolutely adored the lighting in Dancing Queen because it became completely overwhelming. And also, I think there was sort of 3 songs that ran together. I think it was, I don't know, was it Lay All Your Love on Me, Summer Night City, and Voulez-Vous?
Possibly.
That sort of, I think they ran together. And I absolutely loved the large scale views of the
Yeah,
avatars
yeah.
doing their moves, which you've probably seen, wearing the neon costumes. That transition that I talked about earlier between two of the songs was just mind-blowing. And it seemed as though you really got a really clear view of the avatars in really searingly high definition at that point. You were really seeing it so crisp, so clear. I think that was my highlight.
But I think there were so many. There was nothing I didn't enjoy.
It was all a highlight.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Every few minutes there was a highlight.
Yeah.
And something else happening, and some new lighting effect coming in and taking over, and just.
And the thing is, they didn't just rely on a number of lighting tricks. There are so many in there that work. So yeah, I just thought it was great. And if you do want to dance, I mean, you were saying earlier about, you know, if you're dancing, you may miss something. But of course, that's what a lot of people will want. So
I'm not.
there's the dance floor area is really sort of big, and even though it gets full, it looked as though people were really enjoying the experience. And we met some of them afterwards.
We
didn't
did.
we? And they loved it.
I'm certainly not dissing people who dance at concerts. I mean, you know, I prefer to sit and take it in and view it and do a bit of seat dancing. Plus, you know, standing up for too long for me is just not an option. So I enjoyed it, and I had a small child in front of me as well, which was great. Because if she stood up, it didn't matter. So
she did at some point.
yeah, she did, and she was enjoying herself, which was great. And you know, that kind of brings me to the age range as well. Young and old, right across the board. Although I would say
It's
that the
weighted,
majority
yeah.
is over 45s.
But it was also a matinee. So traditionally, matinees have older audiences anyway. So it will be, I mean, I wouldn't really want to go to an evening performance because I like to be in bed by about 10:30. So an evening performance and getting back would be a bit much. But I think if we go again, we'll go to a matinee. But it would be interesting to see what the audience is of an evening.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our review of ABBA Voyage. I hope you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
So thank you very much for watching this show, our review of ABBA Voyage, and do come again. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.